Hello, my name is Paul Daggett with RE/MAX Realty Professionals, and I'd like to welcome you to a special event today. I'm here with Attila, and how do you pronounce your last name?
It's a challenge. It's Draskoczy.
Oh, there you go. I'm glad I asked. Well, Attila Draskoczy. Is that right?
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Attila's with Hardings, and Hardings is a home improvement company that is quite fabulous, and they have helped out a client of mine as well as my mother-in-law, and they've done a spectacular job. And I'd like to welcome Attila right now. Thank you, Attila. And this spot that we're doing today is on the question as to, do you paint or not? So to paint or not to paint, that is the question. And that's what we're going to try and answer here today when we're thinking about doing home improvements and getting our home as best possible when we're putting our foot forward to list our property out on the market today. And what do you think, in your mind, Attila, is the advantage of a fresh paint job in the market?
Certainly. Well, first of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Paul for having me on his video shoot. It's my honor. I've known Paul for many, many years through our common interest, which is tennis. So thank you, Paul. So
Glad having you.
do you paint or do you not paint? I mean, in my opinion, whether or not you're buying a house or selling a home, painting is the easiest way to give it a new color, a fresh feel, attach your taste to the home, and it's really the cheapest way to transform your house when you're selling.
Yeah, well, that's very true. Basically, when you're listing your home, you definitely want to put your best foot forward. You can't make a second impression. It's always about the first impression.
Correct.
And so when you have a nice fresh look to your home and it's being presented properly, then it will have the best impact on the buyers.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
Now, with that being said, obviously, we're tapping into a little bit of the experience that Attila has. So could you share with us exactly what got you into this business?
Absolutely. Well, the story is pretty long, but I'm going to keep it very short. I've been in the painting business since 1997, and in 2000, May, is when by luck of the draw, I stumbled across Harding's painting. The guy who started the company, Dalton Harding, he hired me as one of his subcontractors. And about a year and a half after that, he offered me a licensee opportunity. And so that was 2001 October. And really, since then, it just the rest is history. Just been growing with the company, helping the clients, and essentially making the clients love their home again.
Well, they couldn't have picked a better guy, because Attila, as you can see, is very personable. He really believes in working to the best of his abilities for his clients, and that's spectacular. They have been in charge of the painting division for Hardings, and this is why Attila is here today, because painting is a big factor, and that's where we're going today in do we paint or not to paint. So that is the big question. So
Absolutely.
now, for 2018, what's been going on? What are the key factors in painting for today?
Sure. Well, really, 2018 is really the year of bold colors. So your bold reds, greens, yellows. When you're thinking about choosing a color, most designers will tell you, or essentially ask you to use a color wheel, use a fan deck. And as long as the color that you're thinking about is on the same fan deck or across from the within the color wheel, across from one another, the colors will work and will add to your home.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, when we're talking about colors, they're very, what you might say, I guess they're independent for each individual, and each individual has their own taste, right? And so I think that with those colors and those color wheels, it'll really help an individual determine what colors are going to best complement their home, from the status of their furniture, the layout of their home, the coloring of their flooring. All of these things will pay some lip service to the type of color that gets chosen by the expert. And so when you have somebody of Attila's stature in to help you to make those decisions, those color wheels are obviously very, very important.
Absolutely. I mean, I refer to the color wheels or the color Fandex on a daily basis, and I try to assist homeowners with their color selections and give them my opinion on where colors should or accent colors should go, or not to use an accent color.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, I think that for folks that are currently in their home looking for a fresh change, that's certainly worthwhile, especially, we're in the springtime now and we're looking to maybe do some things that are fairly inexpensive in the home to enhance the look of your own home. So if you're in a home right now where you are very comfortable and you want a slight change to make it fresh, then certainly getting advice from Attila to make some changes that give it a better look is a great idea. For some people that are making a move right now, that are looking to move into the next home and they're not really fond of those paint colors that they're moving into, of course, then you definitely get the service of Attila and Harding's painting division in to help you with that, because it will just make it your own home then, because it'll be pulling in all the colors that you feel very comfortable with. And that's where the advantage of having a home expert in the painting division like Attila help you out. So
For sure. Really, at the end of the day, excuse me, there's really there's no hidden secrets or a rule of thumb when it comes to choosing a color for your house. Essentially, what's important is that it's your home, it's your palette, and essentially the colors you end up choosing is going to represent who you are.
yeah, very, very true. Now, when somebody goes to list a house, because those colors are so individualized, is it important maybe to go more neutral to allow that next buyer to choose their own colors, or do you keep those bold colors?
Well, that really circles back to your personal preference. People could choose the conventional way of, the more conservative way to choose a color. So stay within your neutrals, your whites, or if your individuality allows the more vibrant colors, then at the end of the day, as long as the colors work with one another, really there's no right or wrong answer.
Okay. So it's up to the individual homeowner to make that decision then. Is that what you're saying?
It really, the colors in your home will always affect your mood, will affect the feel of the home. So what you feel comfortable as a person.
Okay. So in light of an individual that wants to put their home on the market, they want to put their best foot forward, and say they have some very bold colors in their house, do they stay with that, or should they elect to maybe change something within the colors? Because colors, as you say, set off moods, and so
sure.
do you want that mood of neutrality, or do you want that wow kind of pop to it, or is it going to be turning off people? What is the
For
true
sure.
answer on that?
Well, I mean, this is really my opinion. I mean, when you're thinking about selling your house, I really would recommend people to go to a more of a subtle, kind of neutral direction. Because when someone has picked their really meaningful colors, which means to them, and they really connect with it, that really becomes a very individualistic decision.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's law of averages. You just want to try to appease and appeal to the masses versus that 1 or 2% that might like your canary yellow or your green, really mint green, which there's nothing wrong with those colors, but your law of averages will probably only cater to so many people.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Well, one other thing that's an important factor is your return on your investment. So you're investing in painting for your home, and you have to ask yourself, is that going to be a reward and a benefit to me? What do you think?
Well, really, your return on investment, whether or not you're painting a house that you just purchased from Paul, or
Of course.
of course, or it's a house that you're trying to sell. In my opinion, of course, this is a bit of a loaded question because really completely affects my business. But in my opinion, painting a house and freshening it up is a fantastic way to maximize your return on your house.
Well, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong. You do get it back. I've seen many cases where a home is highly presentable. It's got the fresh paint done, and their return has been very, very good. Their ratio from the list price to the sale price is always a lot closer in the end. So it does pay for itself, which is a really key factor in getting the house looking the best it possibly can. And I really do believe too that from the buyer's perspective, when they go in, that first pop, that first impression, again, is going to be the kickoff, because they will walk away with a good feel. They'll have that fresh paint smell in their memory, so they'll have that impact right off the bat, and it can be a tipping point. And that's sometimes all you need in the competitive world of real estate today, is a tipping point that gets you the benefit of having that offer come in, which is great.
That's right. One thing I'd like to just circle into, so we've talked about the interior side, but let's not forget about the exterior side of your home.
That's right.
It's equally as important. As you know very well, curb appeal is huge. Kind of goes back to the first impression part, and really within Calgary's very harsh exterior outside environment, it's very important that you maintain and you take care of your outside trim, stucco, your siding, because that if you neglect those parts, that can cause big damage for you.
Oh, that's a very good point. For instance, my home, it has a stucco exterior.
Correct.
What do you people do for homes that are stucco? Living in the Richmond Hill, Signal Hill area, a lot of the homes do have a stucco exterior. These homes were built in the mid-90s, and so therefore that type of stucco isn't acrylic based. And so what do you have in place in order to help folks like that?
Absolutely. Well, basically what I would recommend is as long as the stucco is in good condition, which normally is, it would be a very easy, simple process. We would come in and power wash the house, make sure that it's dirt free, and then we would just apply two coats to the exterior, and would use either a full or a semi-elastomeric product.
Okay. And that's the newly designed paint that it seems to adhere and bond well with stucco, is that correct? Elastomeric?
Correct, yeah. So the elastomeric product, the biggest advantage that the product has, that it has the elasticity to the product, and so with the cold and the hot, it moves and it shrinks and it expands with your surfaces, so it will eliminate and in fact fill the hairline cracks in your stucco, and essentially make the conventional stucco, which is, we all know that concrete is very porous, and water penetrates it all the time. It kind of seals it and makes it a little bit water resistant.
Oh, I see. And does it hold up well with the hail situation?
Well, I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, it
Depends on how big the hail is.
Exactly, exactly. But it does hold up to the elements.
Yeah.
Hail, I mean, really the question is how big, how strong.
Yeah.
I mean, it can get pitted and it will chip off. I mean, Mother Nature is not our friend sometimes.
No, that's true. Yeah. I can totally appreciate that, especially with being my age. Being weathered and seasoned.
Oh, come on.
But anyway, to summarize then, really, you can't go wrong with enhancing the look of your home, whether it be the exterior or the interior of your home. And so when it comes down to the original question, to paint or not to paint, that is the question, well, it's your choice. But when we're both talking about the idea of putting your best foot forward, making your home look the best it can possibly be, having it show ready, the choice is going to be yours.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to thank Attila for coming in.
Paul, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great pleasure, and everybody have a great day.